of film, TV, and everything pop culture.
Nice. Welcome to SCREENSLUsh. Brent, what do you think? I think that was seamless, right? No one will know all of the technical problems we had.
All of the behind the
remixing,
scenes drama, the fights,
yeah,
the utter ruckus of
much like the Oscars this year, we also need a crisis response team just in case things like this happens, and nothing violent, but just problems that could come up.
Yeah, and that is why we put the website below so that you can apply to be a crisis response member.
That'd be really fun. It'd be fun if it was only this whole operation is really small. It's just me and you. But what if we had like 200 employees as the crisis response?
Yeah, just with people. Headsets on. Okay, what did he say? Okay, that sounded okay. We're gonna have to. Yeah.
Welcome to SCREENSLUsh. This is our very first public episode. It's been behind the paywall over at the Delphin Pod Patreon for, I would say, maybe 2 years. How long have we been doing this?
Oh my God.
Been years. I think it's been years.
I think it has been over a year.
For sure.
I think in the Favreau Filoni timeline management cycle, it has been 1 to 2 years.
Favreau Filoni, you had to. We're 2 minutes in. You're talking Star Wars. You got Mando on the mind already.
The coffee is.
Got a Grogu cup. What does it say? Protect, attacked,
take naps. He's a little baby.
Cute. Well, much like you, I also have a prop. You got a Grogu prop, unrelated to the Oscars. Mine is Oscar related.
Okay,
and that's because the Oscars this year hosted by my boy Jimmy, one of the 2 Jimmys in late night television. I'm gonna put on my my Jimmy Kimmel hat. You know I'm a Jimmy Kimmel fan.
Oh, look at that! Look at that
baby.
Fit.
Oh, I think my head got bigger because when I got this a while ago, was a little looser, I would say. It now fits so tight to my big fat head.
Your head's been growing. I can't wait for you to just go out and try to find Quinta Brunson so that you could just lay down on the floor in front of her.
It's like it's an inside award.
That's what you can expect here, folks. Don't expect anything else.
I got this hat from studio taping of Jimmy Kimmel Live, where I waited in line for a little while. The entire audience was so excited because the rumor was the guest for the Jimmy Kimmel taping that I was going to was going to be Cher. It was going to be Cher because the second Mamma Mia had just been like dropped or something like that.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, Cher's here, Cher's here, Cher's here. We get there. Jimmy Kimmel runs out. His studio's right off the street. I think it's Hollywood Boulevard. So he runs from his car into the studio. It's exciting. Everyone's like, oh my God, it's going to be Cher. It's going to be Cher. Cher couldn't be there. The filler guest was Dr. Phil. So you get all these people excited to see Cher. They're wearing their Cher shirts.
Yeah.
Can't wait for Cher.
Their Cher hair.
And instead we get a psychologist who's yelling at us about, ill-behaved kids and stuff in his southern drawl.
Well, I think listen, the silver lining there is that the overlap between Cher Dr. Phil Venn diagram is just a circle.
That's true.
I think that all the same fans of Cher are the fans of Dr. Phil, and so I'm sure you guys were hyped to hear him.
I was
cursing out parents,
I was like the only one who was like happy that Cher didn't show. I was like, we get Dr. Phil?
Whoa.
It's close to a one word moniker name like Cher, Dr. Phil. 2 words.
Yeah.
Well, I guess everyone has a
Phil.
Phil.
And people probably think of the doctor, the good doctor himself.
Couldn't think of a better upgrade for a Jimmy Kimmel taping. My name's Emmanuel.
My name's Brent.
We normally don't introduce ourselves, but I guess we should because this is these aren't our. They don't know who we are. They're not Patreon guests. Guests? Ugh.
Yes.
Patrons.
We've never had a single guest, actually, I think.
On this show. Well, we're talking this week about the Oscars. It's 2023, the 2023 Oscars, commemorating the movies of the last year. Brent and I have been talking behind the paywall about a lot of this stuff, each of the award shows, and now we're predicting every single category. Before we dive into it, though, tonight or previously, last night, the Indie Spirit Awards happened. They occurred on the beach in Santa Monica. What did you think about the Indie Spirits this year? Big everything everywhere all at once ceremony.
Oh, yeah. Just people voted just straight down the ticket, it seemed for everything everywhere. And they had a huge night. It was a pretty good show, pretty solid. I think I texted you that I really felt like the writing just of the general kind of like like the announcers and the not the
Hassan
announcers,
Minaj, host
host Hassan Minaj,
who's honestly, this is kind of an aside on Hassan Minaj, has been killing it on the Daily Show, and I didn't even know he was hosting this, so what a week for him.
I didn't either. He has had quite a week. And I think it was a really good show. I think some of the jokes felt a little like a little rough around the edges, and like I think a lot of the presenters felt a little like uncomfortable with the kind of like writing or the jokes or whatever. But aside from that, it was a really solid show. I still think the Oscars could like take a few lessons from the kind of like the looseness.
We've talked about this a little bit, but we've noticed that giant difference in the streaming awards, like the SAG last week, which will soon be on Netflix next year, and this award ceremony. And there's just like it definitely flows. It doesn't have these hard cuts, which are realistically like commercial breaks, I guess, or like these preset like musical montages, or just like the weird thing that makes it's a manufactured TV show. It's been very like loose, open. No one's getting like played off stage if their acceptance speech is a little long. But I don't know. We'll see. There might be more. There might be more award shows like this soon.
I think that'd be great, even with this year's shows kind of like weaknesses. But I'm looking at the winners now. Charlotte Wells won for Best First Feature for After Sun. Really happy with that. All the Everything Everywhere winners were great. I think it's worth saying, because I think this will probably tie into our Oscar predictions a little bit, is that it was a gender neutral show this year with the nominees. I do feel it was like, I think that's a cool thing, definitely, but I think it's like when they're running through all 10 nominees and they're doing it like fast, it's kind of like, that's a lot of nominees to just kind of pick one.
Best performance, best supporting performance, and it's Michelle Yeoh, Kehu Kwan, which honestly, it's impressive when they are against that many people, nominees, and there's no limits to which genders can be nominated. But they did add also best breakout performance. Is that what it's called? Like, I think the way, because there is going gender neutral, you definitely remove 2 awards. So you have to kind of supplement some of that. So we'll see. This is their first time. They may add another acting category, but they're going to be gender neutral moving forward. And it may just mean we're going to get like different categories. I don't know what they're going to be.
Yeah, I did think. I'm glad that you said that the breakthrough performance. That's a new category, right? Because that's what Stephanie Hsu won.
Yeah, although for especially for this year, if they had let's say they added like funnest performance, or it probably would have been Everything Everywhere again.
Yeah, it would have been Jamie Lee Curtis.
It would have been Jamie Lee.
They just would have like whole.
We can do another one. We can give him another one.
Yeah,
but we'll see. It's my prediction is we're going to see a movement towards those types of categories soon. And I don't know if the Oscars may be the last one, because it does. I think some people will feel affected because their chances might be lower for winning if it's not split up, actor and actress, male and female. But who knows? Like I don't know.
Just start doing runner up.
Yeah, second place. No.
Best actor, runner up, best actor, Paul Mescal, After Sun, something like that. I mean, that'd be silly, but something like that.
We should think about it. We should have another episode where we talk about what we want these other things to be, what these other categories should be. But let's dive into our Oscar predictions for this year. I was so worried, Brent. So just so everyone knows, because this is coming out live and because we're releasing it, but I guess we're covered because we're talking about it. Like it's commentary. But I was worried about getting sued by anything. So I stuck with Comic Sans and clip art.
Boy, you know what I appreciate about this is the almost vector image like
quality
of that beautiful golden statuette man. I think it's
you're
really
listening
nice
to this and not seeing it, it is like if the Oscar statuette was on an episode of Cops but didn't want its identity revealed and they had to blur him a little bit. Like,
wonder who that golden man was on Cops last night. On the new episode of Cops last night.
That would be really wild. I don't know if an Oscar winner's ever been on Cops, but someone look that up and send it to us. But we're going to go through every category of the Oscars this year. I will say before we dive into it, Brent and I, we've watched a lot of these movies, if not all of them.
Yeah.
We voted for some of these movies. We kind of have similar interests, so we're in lockstep a lot of times. And then that should be surprising, I think.
I think you and I are Oscar hounds. You know, we're out there hitting the pavement, doing the research, watching
which is
the
just,
movies.
If we're hitting the pavement doing Oscar research, we're just standing on a sidewalk on our phone, scrolling Twitter.
Yeah, I mean that's what I meant. Just sitting there on Gold Derby, just reading
refreshing
the newest stats. And although I'll be honest, I didn't consult, which I regretted like an hour afterward. I didn't even look at Gold Derby in making my predictions.
Gold Derby, which is like this famous site where Oscar prognosticators can have ballots, say who they think. Brent, they were wrong last year. We got more right than some of Gold Derby people last year. So I would say, until we're in Gold Derby, I don't trust Gold Derby, baby.
Get us in. Get us up at the website.
This is an interesting, Gold Derby. It's Gold Derby shows you odds, and in the world of FanDuel and all of these fast ways people can bet on sports, I think that'd be an interesting way to get I don't know, it may tarnish it, but I bet people would bet on the Oscars, and maybe the viewership goes up now. Does that make sense? Like if we start gamifying it a little more, I don't know. That may be awful, actually.
What is it called? FanDuel?
FanDuel is one. There's a lot of them.
FlickDuel. Do we need to start FlickDuel now?
No, wait. Copyright. Is that how you do it? No, don't say
TM.
Don't say TM. Little C in a circle.
Little C. Little circle C.
That would be interesting. I don't know. It could ruin it. Like there could be like people, being like, oh, Michelle Yeoh's wore this dress and $50 says, it crinkles on the microphone during the SAGs or whatever.
Oh, right.
That person would be very rich. All right, let's. Oh shoot! I accidentally clicked on the screen and it went to the next slide.
Okay.
Well, I guess that's just a sign for us to get started. We'll get started with some shorts. So a lot of these shorts are easy to watch, Brent. We thought about going to the movies, but we realized most of this is on NewYorker.com, Netflix. There's some Disney Plus shorts. New Yorker actually has 2 or 3 of these shorts.
Whoa, okay.
They're distributing them, which is
on Hulu. Wild. Also, My Year of Dicks. Check out on Hulu.
Best documentary short. You have The Elephant Whisperer. Haul Out. Oh, it's such a small font on this paper. How Do You Measure a Year? The Martha Mitchell Effect. Stranger at the Gate. Documentary short. Brent, you picked How Do You Measure a Year? Which is kind of a heartfelt documentary set to the music from Rent, I think. And then I picked Stranger at the Gate, which I believe is like produced by Malala or something. She's pushing that short. Any kind of like crazy reasons why we chose these to win?
Listen, man, I definitely saw both of these. I definitely know who Malala is. No. Just no. To be honest with you, man, no strategy here. I read the title. I looked at the poster. It seems
it's not hard to assume that like a lot of Oscar voters aren't like like that. Does that make sense? That's why part of me is like, if there's a really long title that's fun and catchy, people are going to go in on that. All right, let's. So these are our picks for best documentary short. Here's our pick for best live action short. It's nominated are An Irish Goodbye, Ivalu La Pupille, Night Ride, and The Red Suitcase. Brent, you picked The Irish Goodbye, and I picked La Pupille. The Irish Goodbye actually did win, I think, at BAFTAs or something like that. So
I mean, I knew that, and that's why I picked it, because I definitely knew it won a BAFTA.
I like Le Pupille because it's backed by, is it Alfonso Cuarón? Yeah, it's Alfonso Cuarón, I think.
Oh, is it the one he directed?
No. He produced it, I believe.
Oh, okay.
It is a French language short, and it's on Disney Plus, and it's kind of a cute short about, religion and like being a part of a little family and what's right and what's wrong. And I was like, well, it's easily watched. People will see it, I think.
Yeah. Hey, Le Pupille, you know what that means?
What?
The pupil,
Oh, okay. I thought you were making a joke. God. It's like,
no,
of course it means the
come
pupil.
on. I'm not making fun of the French.
Okay. Best animated short, The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse, The Flying Sailor, Ice Merchants, My Year of Dicks, An Ostrich Told Me the World is Fake and I Think I Believe It. My Year of Dicks is on Hulu, and a lot of people, I think My Year of Dicks has a good chance of winning, but we both picked The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. I've actually seen this one. It's very heartfelt.
Yeah.
There's like a scene where he's like, what do you want to be? And he says, like what do you want to be? And he says kind. So it's going to be a real tearjerker.
Yeah. I mean, I went in a different direction. I saw that Apple TV logo.
Oh, can you imagine Apple TV? If Apple TV wins another Oscar for best animated shorts, and they won with Coda last year, best picture, are they like one of the strongest streamers for Oscars? Probably.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to talk about this again, I think. But like Apple, they're very selective, man. They're very, very selective. Like they don't have a lot of stuff, that comes out, new stuff that comes out, and when it does, you like hear about it. It's either a show or a movie that like people are talking about. So they're very picky with what they decide to put out.
Crazy that last year they won Best Picture. This year they have a lot of stuff nominated, and they're a company that makes phones and computers and the cloud. They make the cloud in their factories. The clouds. That's how that works, I think. Yeah. All right. Best visual effects. I mean, it's got to go to this movie, but nominated: All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Batman, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Top Gun: Maverick. Avatar: The Way of Water. This is an award that Avatar won, the original Avatar. What can you say? This was an experience.
Yeah, man. I don't. Yeah, there's no way we live in a world where the Way of Water doesn't win this. It's just like, I don't know. I know I brought them up before, but like the Corridor Crew, visual effects artists react. It's a big YouTube channel, really, really cool, insightful, experts, guests come on to talk about visual effects. They've had multiple Avatar and Avatar Way of Water episodes, and they really break down some of the stuff that is just like it. Seeing this movie in a theater is its own, kind of like amazing experience of just like a beautiful technical feat, but like seeing them get into the details of it and the actual like shots that you don't even really think about in depth, but when they break it down, you're like, it's insane the amount of work that went into this movie. And I mean, there's just, I don't think any way it doesn't win.
Yeah, the Tulkun. We got to get Tulkun.
Paikon. Do it for him.
Paikon's his name, isn't it? And you're drinking from an Avatar cup. Was that on purpose?
Hey, it's not.
Oh, wow.
That's my boy right there.
Speak of the Tulkun, and it shall show itself.
Yep, there he is.
I was thinking, so if you had a friend who was a Tulkun, and it seems like in the movie, spoiler alert for, I guess, the 4 people that didn't watch Avatar: The Way of Water, but you have long relationships with these whales, space whales. Like you show them how your kids have grown up. They show you their kids. I guess there's a lot of kids showing that happens.
There's a lot of kids showing,
how quickly would you turn on your friend Tulkun to get his little drop of brain so that you can sell it and make money? Because it's a lot of money.
I mean, listen, it's either a lot of money or you never die. Or no. It's what is it? You can still die, but you can live a like much longer.
I think
that's
so.
what it was, right?
We got to rewatch that movie because I think it's like a drop.
Times.
A drop of Tulkun blood gives you like a lot of years left. You know, you live forever.
Yeah, it extends your life in a pretty significant way. So to answer that immediately, I mean, I'm sorry, bud. We go way back. I'll miss your kids.
I have a feeling too that every year that the Avatar movies are nominated, so we've got another 3 years. They'll probably win this award, right? Like the next one, the Fire Avatar
annual Avatar visual effects award.
Nice,
that's what they're gonna call it.
Yeah. Let's talk sound. We both again agreed on this, but best sound: All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Batman, Elvis, and Top Gun Maverick. We both picked Top Gun Maverick. I hope that I don't know. I mean, it's this movie is gonna win an Oscar somewhere, I think. It's not getting Best Picture, even though everyone thought that was possible early on. But would you be kind of surprised if a movie as big as Top Gun Maverick, which might have been the movie of last year, wins one Oscar and it's just for sound?
You're asking if I would be surprised?
Yeah.
I wouldn't, because Top Gun is in that same like movie type as Avatar. And so like they're competing for similar things. And when you're talking about technical awards, like Avatar, it's going to take a lot of those, man. But I think sound is definitely the one for Top Gun to get.
What's your favorite sound from Top Gun Maverick? Oh yeah, mine's
yeah.
You know, and everyone knows what that is. But Top Gun Maverick gonna be an Oscar winner. Let's talk about production design. So we disagreed here a little bit, but I think these are both production design heavy movies. The nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, Babylon, Elvis, and The Fabelmans. You picked Babylon, which is a wide-ranging movie across multiple eras of Hollywood, different locations, a lot of costumes. I mean, it's a movie about making movies. So you have costumes within a movie that they're making that goes on. So it makes sense that Babylon is your pick. I just picked Elvis because I have the suspicion that Elvis is going to have a really big Oscars because it was on HBO Max forever and a lot of people watched it in theaters.
Yeah.
And, you know, Bohemian Rhapsody did well when the year that movie came out, but
and it's a Baz Luhrmann movie. Like, so it in terms of production design, like not a lot of movies are at the very least as like maximalist as Baz Luhrmann's stuff, even though this one is like maybe his most restrained.
Yeah.
Now that I think about that,
it's bad. This movie's restrained only because it has to resemble a real person that lives, you know, he's restrained by fact.
And he has to keep it just shy of 3 hours. So he couldn't go fully off the rails. But I picked Babylon because listen, I didn't do zero research. Okay. This one,
you watched the movie.
Well, I watched the movie. Movie's pretty good.
We watched it together.
We did. It's a wild time.
We loved we were montaging it up. We were like, whoa.
Speaking of the ending of Babylon.
You have a Babylon cup? Okay. Tulkun.
You could say so.
Yeah, I guess so.
No, but this one I typed in best production design 2023. And listen, it was IndieWire's pick for winner.
Wow.
So I kind of stole that one a little bit.
I think that one of the things that we have to talk about with precursors is the guild awards. So there are guilds, for example, for visual effects, for sound, you know, even actors have a guild. Yeah. So I don't know, and I will look this up, who won the art directors guild for this year. And I can't look it up fast enough, but that would be interesting to see who did, because I'm sure that's a really important precursor for this award. I
Yeah.
guess, yeah. All right, that's fine. Okay. Best makeup and hairstyling. We have All Quiet on the Western Front, The Batman, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Elvis, and The Whale. We both picked Elvis.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought the whale I think is still a possibility here because of Brendan Fraser's makeup in that
prosthetic stuff.
huge transformation movie.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the what was the Gary Oldman one? Darkest Hour, I think, won. Similar kind of mode there. I also kind of thought like Black Panther, Wakanda Forever in this, and because it won, I feel like it won something, maybe Golden Globes. I could have sworn
it did win, and the first Black Panther movie did win here too.
That's what I'm thinking of, I think. But yeah, I mean, Elvis, had great makeup and hairstyling. I don't love the effects of old Elvis at the end of the movie. I didn't think that was like incredibly well done, but I think still the rest of the movie has really great makeup and hairstyling.
So the Art Directors Guild had an award last year, if I could go back to the production design award, but they split it up by categories, which is interesting. So Babylon did win the best production design for a period film award, and Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery, won for a contemporary film award, and Everything Everywhere All at Once won for a fantasy film. So not like a not super clarifying, but yeah, I like that. Okay, cool. Yeah. So now we'll do film editing. So The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Tar, Top Gun Maverick. I think, just like I said, that Elvis might have a really great night just because it's nominated. So there's obviously a ton of love for Elvis, and a lot of people have seen it. Everything Everywhere. Another precursor, I think, in the night, if you see it win Best Film Editing, the correlation between editing and Best Picture is huge. And it's a movie that is really well edited. I mean, it's a movie about the multiverse.
Yeah. I mean, a lot happens in it. I mean, heck, this guy just won tonight.
Wow.
Gave a nice speech talking about working with the Daniels and how like he learned to like focus more on working with people than like getting caught up in the process, and that's like what he learned and all this stuff. It's really nice speech. But yeah, I mean, he won tonight at the Indie Spirits, and the only competition I could see this having is Top Gun, because I think it's a really, really well edited action movie. Like, especially, dude, I mean, that climax editing, the just entire third act is really like a masterclass in like action pacing and editing. But I still think it's going to be this one.
Tar has really good editing too, but it's so subtle, and it's purpose driven, but it's not that, wild, but
flashy.
There's some really good stuff in that. And then let's go to costume design. We both picked Elvis again, but nominated is Babylon, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Mrs. Harrow Goes to Paris. The classic period film nom is in there. But Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. Oh man, I got that all mixed up. I'd say Black Panther Wakanda Forever has a great chance. It won the first Black Panther won here as well, but Elvis again, like if Elvis has a good night, it's gonna have a good night.
Yeah, man, I do agree that like there's a lot of good competition in this category. I mean, I did hear that when Mrs. Harris went to Paris, she tried on a lot of outfits. So it sounds like those were some really good outfits.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, Black Panther, Elvis, Everything Everywhere has some wild, super creative costumes in it. So I mean, I think I stick with Elvis here, but yeah, a lot of great noms for sure.
For sure. And then the benefit too, I don't know how long these other movies are, but Elvis is really long. And so and Babylon's really long, but maybe that's why a lot of people just kind of attach the
quantity of costumes.
Yeah, there's a lot of costumes in this movie. Okay, best cinematography. This one, Brett, this category, I have gripes about this category this year. It's just crazy that Top Gun Maverick is not here, and neither is freaking Avatar, but whatever. All Quiet on the Western Front, Bardo, The False Chronicles of a Handful of Truths. Is this its only nomination? I gotta look. Elvis, Empire of Light, and Tar all nominated. Tar, I think, has won recently too because
it won tonight at Indie Spirits, and Todd Field got up there and spoke for the cinematographer. Yeah,
we both chose All Quiet on the Western Front. I just have this assumption about war movies, and there's also a lot of, I would say, inventive stuff going on in this movie when it comes to war movies, and even just like kind of being in the trenches and doing some perspective stuff. And it's like a grimy, grisly movie. And I don't know if you remember when Saving Private Ryan happened, and that cinematography was like just epic because they did so many different things with the shutter angle and stuff.
Yeah.
All Quiet on the Western Front does some of that too.
Did you know Schwinn?
I don't know. Let me look it up.
For Saving Private?
I just read a thing about Saving Private Ryan and Shakespeare in Love and the Weinstein campaign that
There's
sort
some
of
wild drama that year. Because let's be honest, it should have won.
It should have won. There's no reason why. I mean,
there's a reason, and there's
a reason. Yeah.
I think All Quiet. I mean, it's wild missing Avatar and Top Gun here. Insane. Kind of like on the level of Denis not being nominated last year for Dune for director.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, All Quiet is I think a great pick for this. It's a really beautifully ironic, I guess, with how much nasty shit's in the movie, but it's like a really beautifully kind of like composed movie, and looks really great. So yeah.
It did win. So Janusz did win Best Cinematography for Saving Private Ryan. Okay, let's talk some music. Best Original Song. Applause from Tell It Like a Woman. Hold My Hand from Top Gun Maverick. Lift Me Up from Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Natu Natu from RRR. This Is a Life from Everything Everywhere All at Once. A lot of these are going to be live performances, which I can't wait because you're talking David Byrne, Rihanna, Lady Gaga. I don't know if she's actually going to be there, but RRR, this is a live performance. Natu Natu, which we both picked. I mean, this could be the only Oscar that RRR gets, and if so, I'm actually pretty. If this wins this Oscar, I would feel pretty satisfied with the spread of big budget, audience pleasing movies that get to walk away with something, because we've already talked about Top Gun Maverick, Avatar: The Way of Water, potentially Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and include RRR into that mix. Really big, audience pleasing movies that normally get looked over.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like, we did our behind the paywall episode of like what we would have what we would have nominated and what would have been our winner in a lot of these categories. And RRR was like way up there for picture. So obviously, like, I'd love to live in a world where it got nom for at least international.
Yeah,
but,
they went hard. They did do some campaigning for Best Picture and everything else.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, I'd be very happy. I can't wait to see them perform this live. It's going to be a showstopper. But I mean, it's a banger of a song, banger of a movie. I think it's probably going to win.
If it wins, we'll do a live performance, right, Brent?
We'll do a live performance. We'll be the two bros.
We have basically the same body as both
of them. Yeah. I'm kind of the hairy, thick friend.
And I have access to a tiger. So I think those two things, it's going to be great. All right. Best Original Score. We've got All Quiet on the Western Front, Babylon, The Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and The Fabelmans. You chose Babylon. I picked All Quiet on the Western Front. I think you've got a great pick. He seems to be nominated. Hurwitz, is that his name? Justin Hurwitz, the guy who did the score, and he won for La La Land. And of all these scores, I do listen to the Babylon score still, like now.
Listen, man, I've got 8 words for you.
Oh, yeah. I'm getting amped already.
Right? Dude, that was my biggest takeaway from the movie that I liked a lot. Little uneven for me, but it was wild as hell. Audacious. That score, dude.
The energy.
The energy from Hurwitz. I mean, Hurwitz is like on his way to quickly becoming like, I don't know, man. Him and Ludwig are like the next John Williams as far as I'm concerned.
Wow.
combined to be the next John Williams.
I listen to the Babylon score when I want to feel like I'm doing coke without having to do coke, and I feel like that is what it accomplished in the movie. You know,
yeah,
kind of that chaos. Really good. I picked All Quiet on the Western Front partially because I just felt like that score did a lot of work. The movie is very, the movie is very reflective. It's kind of a single soldier's point of view for long stretches of the movie, and the music does a lot of has to do a lot. And that's the only reason why I picked it. And it's also not a conventional score for a war movie. It's got a little techno modern flourishes.
I forgot. Yeah, dude. I forgot about how great the score is for that until I was talking about it. Like, but it is good though. It's different.
If Babylon's like coke and taking it, listening back, if I listen to the All Quiet score, it's like
feel deep sorrow.
Yeah. I don't want to. I was gonna name a drug, but I didn't want to. All right. Best documentary feature. Now we're getting into it. Now we're talking features, baby. All that breathes, all the beauty and the bloodshed. Fire of Love, A House Made of Splinters, and Navalny. You chose Navalny, and I chose All the Beauty and the Bloodshed. Brent, I think if we're talking about which documentary got seen the most, I think Navalny is the one. And it also feels kind of important. Sometimes they pick a movie that feels like it's very pertinent because of everything that's happening in Russia and Ukraine. So Navalny, I think, is a great pick.
Yeah, man. I still have to see All the Beauty and the Bloodshed. It's going to be one I check out soon. But yeah, Navalny, I think is just an excellent, unfortunately more timely than ever documentary about a man with balls the size of Texas, it would seem like.
Oh my god,
absolutely!
That's a pull quote. That's like they're gonna put that in a Navalny ad.
Yeah, dude. I mean, just absolutely insane. Yeah, the stones on this guy to
stop talking about Navalny's balls, Brent. You're obsessed with Navalny's balls.
No, listen, Navalny's balls are taking it this year. He's gonna. Yeah, I don't know what else I was gonna say, but yeah, it's a great doc. Some really insane sequences, like when he calls the guys who tried to kill him directly on the phone, and just like,
and he's free for a lot of the documentary, so that's also something because he is in jail now or in prison now. I picked All the Beauty and the Bloodshed because this movie's great. It's a great piece of art, even because of the way the documentary is made. And the fact that it's about Nan Golden and about her life. And I think I already said earlier, like it's split up into chapters. There's archival footage and photos, and there's a lot going on. And it did win Cannes, I think, right? Or Venice. It won one of those really big film festivals, and it won like best film, not just best documentary. So I think though, for All the Beauty and the Bloodshed to really pull through, more people needed to have watched it. It is, I think, on HBO Max or something, but we'll see if that happens. And I'm also leaning on, I guess, the foreign body of the Academy, which is right now, I think, about like a quarter. And I feel like they're a little powerful because All Quiet on the Western Front is it's nominated a lot more than some other movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Let's talk best animated feature. We got Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Marcel the Shell with the Shoes On, Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, The Sea Beast, and Turning Red. We both picked Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. I just think part of me, this movie is amazing. There's a lot of great craft in it, but also Guillermo del Toro on an Oscar campaign is it's like seeing Tom Brady throw now. Like he knows what to do. He knows what to do at dinners. He knows how to talk. He knows how to kind of disarm people from that Shape of Water campaign. He has got a ton of jokes. He's got a ton of knowledge on film, and now he's talking about stop motion and animation. It's just like it's a home run.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think, I mean, my personal opinion tied into this one as well. Like I love this movie. It's my favorite of his in a little while.
Yeah.
And it's been winning. Like it's straight up just been winning a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
For good reason. Like The Craft is absolutely it's so wild, it's so creative, and
I love
there's so
seeing
much heart.
all the behind the scene stop motion stuff where they show like the artist's hands and
they're moving all quick with the little guys just like
yeah. You know what they should do? You should put the Babylon score behind that. I think that would be
yeah,
it's just
it's a
freaking
little
going.
Pinocchio.
Just wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great movie. And I think it also is like one of those animated films that isn't necessary. There's some really mature themes in it. And I think, he talks about how animation's a medium all the time and not a genre for kids. And I think I looked this up, the 1940 Pinocchio that Disney made, not the remake of that movie, which Zemeckis made for Disney.
It's also nominated, right?
Yeah, for Best Picture of the decade. But the 1940 Pinocchio won 2 Oscars for Best Score and Best Original Song for When You Wish Upon Us. The Disney theme song was from a Pinocchio movie. So
right.
Another Pinocchio getting an Oscar, possibly. Okay, let's talk Best International Feature, All Quiet on the Western Front. Argentina in 1985, which I believe won a Golden Globe. Close, EO, About That Donkey, and The Quiet Girl. We both picked All Quiet on the Western Front.
Yeah, it feels almost, this is a loaded word, but like rigged in All Quiet's favor, this one, because it's like there are just some odd like not admissions, omissions.
Yeah. No, Triangle of Sadness isn't there.
Yeah, which is weird because it's in Best Picture, and also Park Chan-wook's movie
Decision to Leave.
Decision to Leave isn't in here. So some kind of odd omissions.
This is the most political, literally, category, because there is a governing body in each country when they submit, and I mean, they didn't pick RRR, which is the biggest movie, in the world, international. There's a lot of omissions. So you're right. It feels a little rigged because this is the only movie in this category that's also nominated for Best Picture. So you assume they saw so highly of All Quiet on the Western Front that it got one of those 10 spots overall. So it's gonna win. It's a good movie, but
yeah, I do think it is going to... Wait, it didn't get a Best Picture nom, did it?
It did. All Quiet on the Western Front, nominated for Best Picture. So
I forgot about that. Okay, yeah, but I think it's locked up international for sure.
All right, Best Adapted Screenplay, All Quiet on the Western Front, Glass Onion, and Knives Out, Mystery, Living, Top Gun Maverick, and Women Talking. We both picked Sarah Polley's Women Talking. It's a great script, but it's nice that Glass Onion's nominated, I think, and so is Top Gun Maverick, both adaptations, like sequel-ish.
Yeah. So but adapted,
I would be worried about All Quiet on the Western Front here as well. It's an adaptation of a movie that won Best Picture a long time ago. And who knows? Like, they obviously, the Academy really likes All Quiet on the Western Front. And it won at BAFTAs.
I mean, but also Women Talking wasn't nominated there.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
it just won tonight. Or last night.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I think this one is pretty well close to being locked up. I think, All Quiet, I don't know, man. Like, the script is probably the weakest part of that movie for me, personally. I just think so many other elements are just killer in that movie. It's quiet on the Western Front.
Quiet. Yeah.
I think this one is going to be Sarah Polley's win for sure.
On the other side of screenplay, we got Best Original Screenplay, The Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, and Triangle of Sadness. Another kind of crazy thing about Triangle of Sadness. It's nominated here, and it didn't get an
Wow.
But
I forgot about that too.
Brent, you picked Banshees of Inisherin, and I picked Everything Everywhere All at Once. If everything holds on my nominations, I don't have Banshees winning anything, but this would be a good one for that movie.
Yeah, I think picking Banshees here at this point is definitely a less secure pick. I think for a possibility. I guess my thinking is like Everything Everywhere isn't gonna win like every single main award. Which maybe that's I'm wrong about that. I very well could be at this point. So I was just thinking like I don't know, man. If they're getting like two actors, picture, directors, I don't know, man. I don't foresee them winning like essentially every single main category. So
Yeah.
that's why I put in like the next one down the list here, which is Banshees, I think. So yeah.
Martin McDonagh has been nominated before for 3 billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri, and In Bruges. Would it surprise you to know he's already won an Oscar for a live action short from 2006? So Martin McDonagh, he's already got that gold. I have Everything Everywhere All at Once. I think I texted you this. It would be hard to think that it would be one of the most awarded films in history. I think not since Network from 1976 has a movie won director, screenplay, best picture, and a ton of acting noms, even editing. So it would be wild. It would be a history making night if this happens, but I think it's totally possible. It's a good,
yeah. I don't envy the Daniels in just how many damn speeches they gotta have like
keep it fresh.
Sleeve.
There's 2 of them though. That's nice. You can have.
I mean, and they've been killing it. Like they just gave
they did great.
like 3 speeches, I guess last night, and they were all great and like focused on different things and were very heartfelt. So yeah.
I gotta say, my favorite awards of the last 10 years at the Oscars are these screenplay awards. Even if the Daniels didn't win Best Picture, Best Director, this is where Taika won. This is where Emerald Fennell won. Like it's always been a real Jordan Peele one. Like this is always the fun. I think like the fun award.
And you picked a better one to keep with that trend. I think we'll see. Yeah.
All right, Best Actress in a Supporting Role.
Big Six.
This is it. This is the Big Six. We are lockstep here. Best Actress in a Supporting Role. We got Angela Bassett for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Hong Chow in The Whale, Carrie Condon in The Banshees of Inisherin. She just won BAFTAs. Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Everywhere All at Once. She just won SAG. And Stephanie Hsu, Everything Everywhere All at Once. She won that Poker Face episode I watched today. That's for sure.
Well, I don't know if her character did.
A lot of people. That's true. Spoiler alert. A lot of people, I think, were very hard set that Angela Bassett was going to win here because she's got a long career that you can honor, and she did great in this, spoiler alert, her final Black Panther movie. But it's kind of on shakier grounds because she did lose SAG and she did lose the BAFTAs.
Yeah, and the competition for this one, man, I think is pretty fierce. I think Carrie Condon is amazing in Banshees. Hong Chow, best part of The Whale for my money. I think she's great in it. And yeah, Stephanie Hsu just won the Indie Spirit Award.
Breakout,
and she killed it in that movie. So I mean, a lot of competition, in this one. Pretty a little unsure of Bassett, but I mean, I think she'd be a good win. First for the MCU. She's amazing in that movie. Has like several scenes that just like bring the fucking house down, man. Like really emotional and powerful stuff. So yeah, but I'm a little unsure at this point,
I think that if she wins, there's going to be a really interesting conversation around Marvel, because I always think of the MCU as a place where, Michael Douglas is there. There's a lot of really esteemed Oscar winning actors that go to Marvel like after they won their Oscars, Brie Larson. And it's interesting to think of young up and coming actors thinking like, maybe I'll actually like making an MCU movie is a platform to be nominated and to win and all. Like it's a very different type of movie.
Yeah, you kind of got to be Angela Bassett though, man. I don't know.
It's also like Angela Bassett, who was nominated and lost for What's Love Got to Do with It.
Yeah.
Is at this point in her life people just want to honor her. So it may not be so much a thing for the MCU, but it would be history no matter what. Okay.
Yeah.
Best, this is maybe the strongest or the most solidified category, but we've got Best Actor in a Supporting Role nominated Brendan Gleeson in Banshees of Inisherin, Brian Tyree Henry for Causeway, which I think is a great nom, Judd Hirsch for The Fablemans, who I believe is the oldest nominee ever now, Barry Coogan for The Banshees of Inisherin, and Ke-Huy Quan for Everything Everywhere All at Once. We both picked him. I Googled a picture to include in the slideshow, and 80% of them are him winning awards. So right now, if you Googled his name, it's mostly him holding
just getting that gold
trophies. So
yeah,
great win, great career, great story. I think this is going to be one of the best moments of the night.
Oh yeah, man. I'm just really happy about this one and that it's so locked up. Like, I sent you that DGA panel, which everyone should check it out. It's like the director, like 6, I guess, this year because the 2 Daniels. But yeah, the Daniels, talk a few times about Ke Quan and sitting right next to Spielberg of all people, and like talk about, like temple, like essentially like when they're planning this movie, like where's Short Round? Like what's Short Round up to? Like, can we get him in this movie? And then like Quan literally like told his agent like that very month that he wanted to get back into acting, and like all the stars aligned. The fact that it's come to this point that he is like locked in for this award is so cool. He's amazing in the movie. But yeah, just I think one of the coolest kind of like narratives in a long time. I think a lot of cool narratives actually this year, but yeah, his is awesome.
Yeah, he did great in the movie. I think even and I love the anecdotes that come out because they kind of trickle out. But now we know that he called his agent because he just lost his health care because he hadn't acted in so long, and this kind of helped him get not only his health care back but his entire career. He's going to be in Loki. He's going to be in the Marvel cinematic universe in Loki, and I'm sure his career is just starting. But really great win. Again, I think it's going to be an amazing moment for the night. Okay, now we're down to the top 4, the 4 last awards of the night, starting with Best Actress. Cate Blanchett for Tar, Ana de Armas for Blonde, Andrea Riseborough for To Leslie, #To Leslie, hashtag
little movie big heart
growth,
hashtag Edward Norton's yacht.
Michelle Williams for The Fablemans and Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once. I think it's crazy we both picked Michelle Yeoh because as much as we think there's momentum, there's still a very large possibility Cate Blanchett with her powerful, full performance in Tar.
Yeah.
And I think someone just showed this, like the way you can set your clock based on Cate Blanchett winning an Oscar, because she wins every 9 years, and this is the 9th year. So there's a lot of stuff going on here for Cate. But I don't know, like the Everything Everywhere All at Once momentum, this is going to be like this is going to be the hardest, I guess, wall for it to go over is if Michelle Yeoh wins here, which I think would be amazing.
Yeah, man, I agree. Like this one is definitely, I think, a little up in the air. I think Michelle Yeoh does have that momentum. Yeah, man, I don't know what else to say. I think it'll be really interesting to see how it plays out. I mean, Blanchett is incredible in Tar, but it's also like I do wonder if it factors in that she's won twice already, and Michelle Yeoh is like a fucking legend.
Yeah.
Has she been nominated before? Was she nominated for Crouching Tiger? No.
This is it. And I think there's
nuts.
There's the same thing with Ke Quan, going on. Her career, she's always been kind of supporting, or she's been in action movies and kind of misjudged for a lot of her career.
Yeah.
So there's a giant kind of historic thing. And look, we'll talk about this, especially if she wins. But more white people have won Best Actress playing Asian than and an Asian has never. The last person of color to win this award was Halle Berry in 2000. Was that 6 or something? So it's been a long time. This would be kind of a big turning point, and we'll talk about this with Best Picture. But this would be even just everything everywhere being there would be kind of wild.
Listen, those optics are not great on
Look
the
it up.
Oscars.
4 white actresses have won for a best actress, not best supporting, but best actress for playing Yellow. But you know, we'll see. Hopefully it changes. This is kind of interesting. This is kind of the horse race too. Best actor in a leading role: Austin Butler for Elvis, Colin Farrell for The Banshees of Inisherin, Brendan Fraser for The Whale, Paul Mescal for Aftersun, and Bill Nighy for Living. You chose Brendan Fraser for The Whale, and I picked Austin Butler for Elvis. I mean, we talk about these narratives. Brendan Fraser's got a great one too.
Yeah, he does. I think. I mean, I said Hong Chow is the best part about the whale, and
I know.
I guess I think I stand by. I guess what I mean by that is like she adds so much heart to the movie. Like she's a big element of that. Her dynamic with this character's name Charlie, I think, is really great. But I think like I mean, I think the narrative for Fraser to come back the way he did is just like so powerful, and he really is amazing in The Whale. Like I think we talked about this maybe on another pod or maybe off, but the thing I expected from The Whale was the big emotional stuff, and there is a lot of that, and he's great in it. But I didn't expect him to like still have that charm and like that kind of sense of humor. And while I don't think there's enough of it in The Whale, the tone of that movie is wild. But like what he brings to the character, I think, is really, really beneficial. And you see that charm and that like sense of humor and stuff there. And it's just like, man, you realize like, fuck, I've missed this guy.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that he's back, and like he's going to be in Scorsese's next movie, and like
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah, like he's gonna be wearing a big hat. I think it looks
nice.
Like.
Big hat, Fraser.
Big hat. But yeah. So I don't know. It's partially the lifelong Mummy fan in me.
Yeah.
And also I think he has a good narrative and momentum. But Butler.
The only reason I picked Austin Butler is because of Rami Malek, who won for Bohemian Rhapsody, and all of the other actors and actresses that have won for doing big epic biopics. Does that make sense? It's a weird genre that seems to work all the time. Now, I think the downsides, it broke Austin Butler. He's stuck.
We'll never.
I want him
to
say thank you, Mama, on stage. But there's a giant narrative outside because of the death of Presley, and there's also kind of this I don't know, big groundswell apparently for Elvis, for it to be one of the most nominated movies just period for the year, which is wild. But the downside would be Austin Butler is incredibly young and incredibly new, and some Oscar voters may feel like, whoa, like, just wait your turn or whatever. But I always come back to Rami Malek, who kind of, wasn't that big in film for until Bohemian Rhapsody.
I don't know.
Who knows? They may do
the
it.
The Bohemian Rhapsody thing almost feels like more of an exception than a rule to me.
I would hope. I don't know. I hope so.
Odd.
But it's
very odd.
It's more the biopic thing. Like if you're in a biopic, you're in. Like you're at least gonna get nommed if you do like good enough. What do you think about Colin Farrell? He's kind of dropped off our radar. He won the Golden Globe, but he didn't win even the BAFTAs where his co-stars won. Brendan Fraser won there.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, because it felt like for a while, it felt like Brendan Fraser, then Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
I'm doing a visual thing. Of people passing each other. And then Austin Butler, like at the end. So it's like they've kind of all been in the race at a certain point, but it does feel like Colin Farrell, and this is just like my limited perspective of how things seem. But like, it seems like Colin Farrell kind of fell behind the other two. But I mean,
super great.
Really good. Yeah.
This is his first nomination, which is insane for Colin Farrell.
That's so crazy, yeah.
But I feel like he is going to be nominated multiple more times, and he's just him and oh shoot, who's his co-star? Brendan Gleeson have been together on the trail, doing interviews together and stuff. And I just feel like, I think at some point that's going to pay off. Could be this year too. Who knows? This might be a really, really, really close race between those three.
Yeah, I mean, hey, he gives really charming speeches. He did it at the Globes, and it was one of the best.
He knows how to say.
things.
He knows how to. Yeah, he just needs to call out to Leslie like Blanchett did, and it'd be a perfect speech. Oh shoot! Oh, we went all the way through. Well, I mean, let's be honest. These two are kind of connected. But Best Director, Todd Field for Tar, Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinhardt, or the Daniels for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Martin McDonagh for The Banshees of Inisherin, Ruben Östlund for Triangle of Sadness, Steven Spielberg for The Fabelmans. Crazy. Another Triangle of Sadness nomination in Best Director, but no international feature.
Yeah.
We both picked the Daniels. They've been winning. They're, I think, like a huge symbol of I think very like new Hollywood, and maybe even how to award auteur directors in their time there, which is a huge change for the Oscars. Remember, Scorsese won for The Departed after making like 10 fucking masterpieces, and the Oscars have always been late to honor filmmakers, specifically when they're in their bag doing the thing. And I think them giving it to the Daniels helps to make it more of like a modern lens of being like, hey, these guys are great, and we should recognize them before they're like 80 years old. And you're like, remember Everything Everywhere All at Once? That was really good. So I'm glad this is happening, but kind of sad that Spielberg, again, this is his 9th nomination. I think it's 20 something overall. Spielberg, he'll be there again soon.
Probably, yeah. I mean, it seemed like he had it locked up for a while, but yeah, I mean, the momentum has really shifted, man. And I totally agree with what you're saying. Like, if that is the case, these guys getting director, it really does feel like some kind of like a big kind of shift, like a generational kind of like shift to like kind of like the new. It's like guys like Scorsese and Spielberg, like you said, like. They did a lot of fucking great movies, and it took them a couple decades to get, a win, really. So, I'd also, man, what would that do to your, I don't know, like ego or worldview or whatever, like to get so many awards that early into your, I mean, it's not that early for them. Like they said tonight, like they've been in the community, in the independent community for over 10 years. So like they've been making stuff. But wild that they seem locked up though.
Well, this leads us into Best Picture, the final award of the night, and the last one we'll talk about. But All Quiet on the Western Front is nominated, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, Top Gun Maverick, Triangle of Sadness, and Women Talking. So a lot of great movies, 10 of them at least. This is also, this is unlike a lot of other categories for the Oscars. It's ranked choice voting. So it does, account for what you have first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th. We both picked Everything Everywhere All at Once because I think even if it's not your number one, it's probably your number two. And honestly, it's just a powerhouse movie, and there's a lot that's universal about it, but then there's plenty auteur flourishes. There's a lot of craft that's going on in the movie, and it's actually about something that's very deep. It is about everything everywhere. I mean, the title is about the scope of what the movie tries to accomplish and what to focus on. So, I mean, crazy to see a movie like this nominated, and it'll be wilder to see it win.
Yeah, I can't agree more, man. I think we talked about it on one of our past like award season Patreon episodes, but like it's, if you really like, if you do take a step back and you think about this premiering in, I guess, March of last year
at South by Southwest, right near us.
Yeah, right up the road, basically. And having great feedback, but then just that momentum, man, just like the build and build and build, and it's like to the like my mom just, I think, was it today or yesterday? I don't know, but she was like, Yeah, I see. It seems like I need to watch that everywhere movie because it's all over the place right now, and it's winning stuff. And I was like, yeah, you should like. And I remember when it came out, and she didn't seem like that into it because it seemed like a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think just the way the word of mouth has really embraced this movie, and yeah, the Academy and Hollywood embraced this movie. It box office hit, critical hit, like it's on all fronts, man. It's really impressive and surprising in a way.
I can't wait for the Oscars. I can't wait to see. I think there's so much universal love for this movie in particular. We'll kind of see a lot of people in the room, celebrating and kind of enjoying this as the capper. But all right, well, those are our predictions. We've got some top line stuff, but we both predict, and we're kind of on the nose here, like in lockstep, that Everything Everywhere All at Once will win 6 Oscars, which is insane. And then we both have Elvis winning quite a bit. I have it winning 4, you have it winning 2, and I have Banshees, The Whale, and Babylon Shut Out, and you kind of have spread the love there for a lot of those movies. But we'll see. It's going to be kind of an interesting thing. There is a crisis response team, so hopefully there's not a crisis that needs to be responded to.
Yeah, I mean they're going to be ready for slaps. They're going to be ready for bathroom incidents. They're going to be ready for violence.
Oh man, it'll be a wild show, and I think that Jimmy Kimmel could. I mean,
hopefully not that wild. Though.
No,
yeah.
Who knows, Brand? I don't know. I feel like there's like we are in an off year because there was the Moonlight thing. There was the slap last year. It doesn't happen every year, so hopefully we're in an off year, and next year is the one we need to kind of be worried about. But
yeah, batten down the hatches because it's going to be a wild one next year.
The show's going to be really fun. We will be back. So again, that is on Sunday, right? This upcoming Sunday. Let me just get the date. March 12th.
12th, yeah.
Yeah, March 12th. So watch it the very next night. We're going to have another pod, and it's going to be released on all our channels. So listen to that. We'll react to the show, see who got it right. Brett, we got to put let's put some stakes on this. Let's
we thinking like New York. We're thinking
medium rare. We're thinking ribeye. Get the heart pumping or slowing. What does ribeye do to you? Probably slows your heart.
It makes me sweat and feel bad.
Hoo-wee. Yeah, and then we don't poop for a week.
There you go.
What would be a good bet to make on who would get the most right?
The winner. I don't know. We could do money. Okay. We could do stakes.
Let's do stakes.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Actual stakes.
Let's do actual stakes. The stakes are high and they're little stakes. And here's the thing. We're going to eat them virtually on the pod. So
people like that, right?
We're not going to a restaurant. The winner has to.
I'll order you a steak on DoorDash.
Okay, good. That's good.
Well, that's assuming you win.
That's assuming I win. If you win, I will order you a steak. And that's the only rule. It just has to be a steak delivered. So guess what?
Are we actually doing this? Because I'd love this, actually.
Someone might get one of us might get a really nice steak. Someone might get a really, really bad steak.
Oh boy. Are you gonna get me an Applebee's steak? You're gonna DoorDash me a $30 Applebee's steak?
Chicken fried steak has steak in the title.
Well, but that's one of the best steaks. Okay, this is another pod, probably. Yeah.
We'll see who wins, and if we tie, we both eat steaks. Our doctors are watching this, being like, "Huh."
Okay.
This is making a little bit more sense now. They're looking at our X-ray.
You see how many fucking steaks are in this kid?
Stuck in this boy. Thanks so much for listening. Brent, do you have anything to plug?
Just the Delphin Pod Patreon, which is at patreon.com/ Delphin Pod, whatever, / SCREENSLUSH.com.
New and improved.
Can be
new at least. It's up.
It's maybe not new. Maybe just
maybe
it's a website.
Improved. Yeah, exists.
It exists. It's a thing. That's about it.
For sure. Listen to all of the Dolphin Pod shows. I hope you like ScreenSlush. We'll be coming into you. What? We're gonna be.
You ruined it at the very
We're
end.
gonna be out all the time with new apps about a bunch of fun stuff about movies and TVs. Thanks so much. Bye. Oh, wait. Let me play our thing again.
Yeah.
Oh man, I got a really aggressive stuff. Oh no, I'll play the regular one.
This is ScreenSlush, an unhealthy mix of film, TV, and everything pop culture.